Number 11, Sophia Elstrom. Hello, Franklin sports fans. We welcome you to Westwood High School for this latest girls varsity volleyball matchup. Your Franklin Panthers have made it to the round of 4 in the Division I state tournament, and they are about to face off against the Newton South Lions. Franklin comes into this game after winning against Andover by a score of 3-0. Prior to that, they won against Lincoln Sudbury 3-0. And in their first round game of the tournament, they played against Braintree, winning that game 3-0. Newton South, for their part, comes into this game having won against Brookline in their previous game, previous match 3-1. Chelmsford before that 3-2, and then Methuen 3-1. So we are in for a fierce matchup. A very, very fierce matchup indeed. And we thank you viewers at home and abroad for tuning into this game on Franklin Pride TV. Franklin will start off with the serve in the first game. And here we go, the first hit. That one's going to sail just out of bounds, so that's going to be a point to Newton South to start off this first game. Right now we have number 2 for Newton South serving the first for Newton South. They are able to dig that ball up. A light play there at the net by, that was, I believe, number 15. Number 15 for Newton South being Annabelle Kohler. She's not able to get the ball across. It's going to be pushed back onto the Newton South side of the court, and that's going to be a point for the Panthers. Serving now for Franklin is going to be number. That's a good serve there by the Panthers. A nice hanging serve there, and a kill attempt there by number 1 Bellissima Permuto for Newton South is going to bury that ball on the near sideline. So that's going to be another point to Newton South. So Newton South with a 2-1 lead here. And number 9 with the serve there. Franklin digging it up. That kill dug up by Newton South. And that's a gentle play right there, but Newton South able to handle that one. Kill attempt, that's going to go wide and out of bounds, so that's a point to the Panthers. So we are tied up at 2. Number 18, Phoebe O'Connor with the serve now for the Panthers. Strong serve there by O'Connor as Newton South digs it up. Kill attempt, Franklin able to dig it up. Final hit, that's going to be going right in between the back 2 defenders for Newton South, so that's a kill for Franklin. So O'Connor to continue on with the serve here for Franklin. Strong serve there again, but that's going to go out of bounds, so that'll be a point to Newton South. We are tied up at 3. Bellissima Permuto with the serve for Newton South. Good serve there by Permuto. As Franklin with a free ball there, that's going to land just out of bounds. So Permuto to continue on with the serve here. Newton South with a 1-point lead, 4-3. Strong serve there by Permuto, but Franklin is able to dig it up. Ooh, a nice play right there. Franklin able to get that ball gently across the top of the net, and Newton South can't react to it. Number 9, Michaela Kuykendall with the serve now for the Panthers. Strong serve there, but Newton South able to dig it up. Third hit, that's going to get across. Gentle play right there, free ball. Free ball there for the Panthers. Newton South able to dig it up. And that point is going to be awarded to Franklin. Newton South called for a double hit. So Franklin with a 1-point advantage, 5-4. And Michaela Kuykendall to continue the serve. It is loud here at Newton, at Westwood High School. Newton South is unable to return that ball, so that's going to be a point to the Panthers. Franklin now with a 2-point lead, 6-4. But still early in this first game of this best 3 out of 5 matchup as Michaela Kuykendall delivers another serve. Newton South with a kill attempt. Franklin does try to dive under that ball. Michaela Kuykendall literally diving. But ball's going to be too far out of her reach, so that's going to be the side out that Newton South wanted. Number 16. Sienna Lee with the serve now for Newton South. That's a free ball. Newton South able to dig it up. And Newton South is able to play that just out of bounds. And that point is going to be awarded to the Panthers for the ball being out of bounds. It must have gone, it must have been just outside of the antenna where the chair ref is. So Franklin with another serve. That point is going to be awarded to the Lions. Both Franklin and Newton South with student spectators here. Newton South is loud here. So number 13 with the serve there for Newton South. Kill there by Franklin is going to be dug up. Ooh. And Newton South called for a double hit, so that's going to be a point to the Panthers. So Franklin with a serve there. Third hit by Newton South is going to be dug up by the Panthers. That kill. Ooh. Newton South very, very carefully. Oh, they're not going to be able to get that ball dug up. Newton South reacting very, very quickly to try to get their last hit across the net. Franklin doing the same. And Newton South can't keep it going. That ball is going to be met at the net by the Panthers. Newton South with a kill. A block at the net, and it's going to land on Newton South's side of the court. Right near the back line where no one was. So that's going to be another point to the Panthers. Panthers being the home team here, so they are leading this first game by a score of 10-6 as Newton South calls a timeout. So Franklin continuing to show very, very strong offense here. And Newton South again doing very much the same. Even if they are only behind by 4 points in this first game. But they were feeling a touch scatterbrained during that last volley, where they were just barely able to get their last ball across the net, and then Franklin doing their very same thing and getting the ball across the net, and unfortunately Newton South is not able to return that ball. So that resulted in Franklin's last point. And so that more or less forced Newton South head coach Lucas Coffeen to call a timeout and try to settle his players down. Franklin with another serve. Newton South gets it across. Franklin sets it, kill attempt. That's going to land just out of bounds. A great kill attempt there by, I believe, Michaela Kuykendall, but it's going to go just out. Number 11, Sophia Hellstrom, for Newton South with the serve. A nice serve there by Hellstrom. That just barely gets past the top of the net. Franklin setting. Newton able to dig it up. And that point is going to be awarded to Newton South. So Sophia Hellstrom to continue on with the serve now for Newton South. Score is 10-8. That serve by Hellstrom is going to go long, and Franklin lets it. Number 14, Emerson Delio with the serve now for Franklin. As they try to keep some kind of lead here. They do have a 3-point lead. Newton South with the kill. That's going to be blocked at the net by the Panthers. Franklin sets it. Kill attempt dug up by Newton South. That's a free ball. Franklin able to keep it alive. That free ball dug up by Newton. And Newton tries to get the ball across, but it's going to be blocked at the net and land on Newton's south side of the court. 12-8 is our score in this second game. So Emerson Delio to continue the serve now. Strong serve. That ball is going to be met at the net. Franklin able to push that ball back onto Newton's south side of the court. Although a Newton South assistant coach was concerned that Franklin may have had a hand a little too far over the top of the net, but no call there as Franklin continues to serve. Newton South gets that ball across as a free ball. Franklin with a kill. That one's going to be going out of bounds. So 13-9 is our score in this first game. Number 2, Natalie Huang with the serve for Newton South. Nice serve there by Huang. Franklin, kill attempt. Wow, a powerful kill dug up by Newton. Newton South delivering more of the same. That ball's going to land just in bounds. It looked very, very close from where we are on our side of the gym here at Westwood High School. So Franklin with a 14-9 lead in this first game. We've got Olivia Alberti with the serve. Nice serve there by Alberti. Newton South digs it up. They can't get a second hit. So that's going to result in another point for the Panthers, 15-9. So Franklin putting on a strong presence here against Newton South. Alberti with the next serve. That one is going to be dug up. Could have gone to the back line, but Newton South was able to keep that ball inbounds. And a kill attempt by Newton South is going to be deflected out of bounds by the Panthers. So Newton South able to break double digits. Number 9, Alexa Sam with the serve. Strong serve there by Sam as Franklin is able to keep this ball in bounds. They're not struggling too much tonight. That's a free ball by Newton South. Franklin with the setting play. They get that ball across. And that point's going to be awarded to the Panthers. I think the ball was initially ruled as having possibly landed on the court before Newton South was able to dig it up. I'm not entirely sure, but either way you cut it, Newton South would not have been able to get that ball across anyway after a couple of hits. Phoebe O'Connor now with the serve. She delivers. Newton South digs it up. That's a free ball. That's going to stay on Franklin's side of the court. They get it back across. Newton South with a dig, a set. And that ball does get across. Okay, and that was number 14. Emerson Delio diving to get another hit on that ball, but she can't get to it in time before it goes out of bounds. So number 1, Bellissima Promuto. Franklin with a second hit. They get the third hit across. Nice play right there. Franklin blocks it at the net. And Franklin's third hit here gets across. Some light play going on both sides of the net. A block there by the Panthers. And Newton South is unable to get that third hit over the top of the net. It goes into the net, so that's going to be another point for the Panthers. Another timeout for Newton South, as Franklin now has a 17-11 lead here in this first game. So we are thrilled to be able to present this audio to you viewers at home, to you listeners at home and abroad. Live stream capabilities get a little bit more complicated as a team makes it to the second to last round of the state tournament nowadays. And as always, you can expect to see the video replay in a few days time. So both Newton South and Franklin coming out of this timeout. Again, Franklin with a 17-11 lead in the first game of this best 3 out of 5 matchup. Michaela Kuykendall with the serve. Strong serve there by Kuykendall, and Newton South digs it up. And a push-up play there. I'm calling it a push-up play. Newton South does try to get it up over the top of the net, but it's going to be blocked by the Panthers. Kill attempt there that's going to be deflected out of bounds by Newton South. A big kill there by Franklin. And it's deflected out of bounds by Newton South. So that's going to be another point to the Panthers as they increase their lead to 18-11. And Kuykendall to continue the serve here. Nice run and jump serve by Kuykendall. A number of players on the Panthers team have a run and jump serve going on. That's going to be a point to Newton South. That kill may have gotten by a number of Franklin players. That's how quickly these kills are being delivered here. Number 16, Sienna Lee for Newton South with the serve. And that serve is not going to be high enough to go over the top of the net, so that's going to be a point to the Panthers. 19-12 is our score. Franklin makes a substitution. Number 16, Olivia Alberti, comes back into the game. Franklin with a serve there, and Newton South is not able to keep that ball alive. That serve coming from number 5, Emma Cunningham, the libero for the Panthers. And Cunningham to continue the serve here. As a little tiny pause in the action here, but things are straightened out. Strong serve there by Cunningham. Newton South able to dig it up. That ball is going to be blocked at the net fantastically by the Panthers. And that ball just goes right into the ground. A massive block by the Panthers. That ball is going to land just inbounds. So Franklin now with a 10-point lead in this first game, 22-12. Emma Cunningham continuing on with the serving here. Good serve, but doesn't clear but just hits the top of the net. Stays on Franklin's side of the court. So that's a big side out there for Newton South as they have number 13, Gianna Promoto, coming into the game, and she will take the serve for Newton South. 22-13. Franklin only needs 3 more points to take this first game. Kill attempt is dug up by Newton South, a big kill. Newton South delivers a kill. That's going to be dug up by the Panthers. Franklin with a free ball. That is easily handled. Newton South with a kill. And Franklin cannot get a second hand on that one, so that's going to be a point to Newton South. So Gianna Premuto to continue to serve for the Lions. Newton South able to get a second hit. And that ball is going to just barely be touched by the Panthers and deflected out of bounds. So that will be another point for Newton South. As Newton South continues to cut this lead down. Premuto to continue to serve. 22-15 is our score. Franklin with a free ball. Franklin trying to get a free ball across the top of the net, but instead it's going to land right in front of the net. That's going to be another point to Newton South. 22-16 is our score. And a timeout is now going to be called by Franklin head coach Chris Vidolfi after Franklin surrenders the last 2 to 3 points to Newton South. Score is now 22-16. And Franklin doesn't want this game getting too far out of hand. So again, we've got a big crowd here, both for Newton South and for your Franklin Panthers. Rodolfi knows that he needs his players to calm down a little bit here, as they only need 3 more points to take this first game. And Rodolfi does not want to give Newton South any wiggle room to try to catch up to the Panthers here. So coming out of the timeout, Premuto to continue the serve for Newton South. And a good serve there by Newton South. It just barely hits the top of the net, but it's not gonna upset its trajectory. Big block at the net by Newton South. Franklin gets it back across. That kill is going to go into the net for Newton South, so that's going to be a point to the Panthers. 23-16. And we've got Gianna Lorello with the serve now for Franklin. Nice serve there by Lorello. Newton South able to handle it easily as they get that third hit across. That's a free ball. Kill attempt. Newton South unable to get to that ball. That was number 2. Natalie Huang diving for that ball, and she can't get to it. So Franklin now playing for game point in this first game, 24-16. Lorello with the serve. Nice serve there. Hits the top of the net. And Newton South is not going to be able to get to that ball in time to dig it up. So Franklin is going to take this first game by a score of 25-16. They now lead the match by a score of 1-0. So certainly a thrilling way for the Panthers to start off this round of 4 matchup against the Newton South Lions. Newton South would have loved to have gotten a little bit more traction during the final few minutes of that first game, but unfortunately that was not going to work out for them. And we could be in here for another you Franklin fans are certainly the Franklin fans that are here on site are hoping for another thrilling game like what they witnessed in Andover, where the Panthers took that match, I should say, by a score of 3-0. And you viewers at home can certainly watch that game on Franklin TV's Pride TV YouTube channel to see how that game turned out. A nail-biting game to start off with, and then Franklin slowly started running away with the scoring, particularly in the third game. So as we are about 1 minute and 21 seconds out from the start of the second game here, Newton South will no doubt be looking to try to even this match up and take this second game, but we'll see if Franklin's offense will allow that, and whether or not Franklin can bring their offense up a notch again, like they have been pretty much all season long. There are very few games that Franklin has played throughout the course of their season that haven't been 3-0 victories. And to me, that is utterly incredible for them under head coach Chris Rodolfi. He's done a fantastic job this season. Franklin has only had 1 or 2 games that have gone beyond 3-0. And if I remember correctly, Jay Horkin pointed out during the Andover game that those games were against. Actually, the name of the opposing schools are escaping me right now. You'll have to forgive me for that, considering how exciting this game has been to start. And this has been no doubt a thrilling game as both teams are back out on the court, ready for the start of the second game. So start of the second game about to get underway. Franklin again leading this match by a score of 1-0. The winning team has to win 3 of 5 games in order to take the match. So we could very well have a long way to go here, folks. And should it wind up going the full 5 games, the fifth and final game will only be up to a final score of 15. Newton South will start off with the serve here. This is number 1, Bellissima Premuto. So Premuto to start the serve for the second game. That serve's going to go long, high and long, and Franklin just lets that sail out of bounds. So that's a point to the Panthers to start off this second game. Olivia Alberti now with the serve for the Panthers. Alberti trying to stay clued in on what's going on here. That serve is going to cross the top of the net, but it's going to go sideways and out of bounds. So that's going to be a point to Newton South. Newton South has a very vocal student section here. Number 2 for Newton South with the serve there, and that serve is going to be deflected out of bounds by the Panthers. And number 2 being Natalie Huang. So Newton South with a 1-point lead here. Kill attempt. That's going to land inside the court. And I believe that was a kill by Michaela Kuykendall. Phoebe O'Connor with the serve now for the Panthers as Franklin ties it up at 2. Nice serve there that just barely gets the top of the net. Franklin digs that ball up. Third hit is going to be a free ball to Newton South as Newton South gets a third hit. A nice dig by Franklin, but they cannot get the third hit across. That would have been a free ball by Franklin, but unfortunately for them, that free ball is going to go into the net. So number 13 for Newton South is Gianna Premuto. She's going to take the serve now. Newton South with a 1-point lead, 3-2. And a nice serve that Premuto. Franklin able to dig it. And that ball, and a nice gentle free ball there by the Panthers is going to land right in front of the front line of Newton South, and they can't dig it up. So that's going to be a point to the Panthers, and Kuykendall is going to take the serve for Franklin. Score all tied up at 3. Nice serve there by Kuykendall, and Newton South able to dig it up. Kill attempt, that's going to go long. Oh, so that point is going to be awarded to Newton South. There was a little confusion from the refs about how that ball landed, but it's going to be ruled that Franklin touched it last, and so that's going to be a point to Newton South. Nice serve there by Newton South as Franklin is able to keep that from going into the net. Newton South with the third hit. That kill's going to go long. And this time, it's going to be a little too high for Franklin to get a hand on it. So that's going to be a point to the Panthers. Emma Cunningham with the serve now for Franklin. Good strong serve there by Cunningham. Dug up by Newton South. Third hit, that's going to get across. Dug up by Phoebe O'Connor. And that kill from the back line of Franklin is going to be dug up by Newton South. That free ball by Newton South is going to go into the net. That's a point for the Panthers. Franklin takes a 1-point lead. 5-4 is our score here in this second game. Emma Cunningham to continue the serve. Strong serve there by Cunningham, but it's going to go sideways out of bounds. Ties the score up again at 5. This has been a very close second game, I should say. First game was close as well in certain spots, but then Franklin slowly started to walk away with the scoring. And a nice hanging serve there by Newton South. Kill attempt by Olivia Alberti is going to be met at the net by Newton South and stays on Franklin's side of the court. Not entirely sure what the Newton South student section is saying here, but at any rate, Newton South with a 1-point lead. 5-6 is our score. A very tightly scored game here. That serve by Newton South is going to go sailing out of bounds. So Gianna Lorello is going to take the serve now for Franklin. Score tied up at 6 now. Lorello with the serve. Newton South able to dig it up. And both teams trying to push free balls across the net. Franklin with a kill attempt that's going to be blocked at the net. Lands on Franklin's side of the court. And the chair ref, I believe, was calling for 4 hits. So that kill attempt may have gone into the net as opposed to being blocked. It sounded like it was blocked. Number 9, Alexis Sam with the serve for Newton South. That serve is going to go long. High and long. Number 14, Emerson Delio with the serve. And that serve is going to go long. So a little bit of back and forth serves here that go a little too long for each team's own good here. Bellissima Permuto with the serve now for Newton South, number 1. And that one's going to go just long. Olivia Alberti with the serve for the Panthers. Score is tied up at 8 here. Close match here. Kill attempt blocked at the net. It's going to land just out of bounds. It's going to spiral out of bounds. So that's going to be a point to Newton South. Number 2, Natalie Huang with the serve for Newton South. Nice serve there. Franklin able to dig it up as they try to keep this ball alive, and they do. Newton South faithful Not quite sure if Franklin might have had a little bit of a carry there, but it was not called as such. And a kill there by Michaela Kuykendall, I believe, is going to give that point to the Panthers. So the Newton South faithful were kind of calling for a carry, but it was not viewed that way. So Franklin with the serve there by Phoebe O'Connor. Newton South with a kill, dug up by Franklin. Michaela Kuykendall with the serve. That's going to be blocked at the net, and is going to be kept alive. That kill is unmistakable. Michaela Kuykendall delivers that kill in the back right corner of Newton South side. So Franklin with a 1-point lead. Score is 10-9. O'Connor to continue the serve here. Strong serve there by O'Connor. Newton South with a free ball. Kill attempt blocked at the net by Newton South. Franklin with a second hit. They get that third hit across. That's a free ball. Kill attempt blocked at the net, and Newton South unable to keep that ball alive. Big kill right there for the Panthers as they take an 11-9 lead in this second game. Phoebe O'Connor to continue the serve here. Nice serve there again by O'Connor as Newton South digs it up. Free ball. Franklin with the kill attempt. That's going to be blocked at the net, and they are not going to be able to get that ball across. Good attempt, but they're a little scatterbrained as they try to get that ball across. A couple of hits that go into the net. So good effort on Newton South's part. Franklin with a 3-point lead, 12-9. O'Connor to continue the serve here. Strong serve there again by Phoebe O'Connor, and Newton South unable to keep that dig alive. 13-9 is our score now. Newton South calls a timeout. Again, Lucas Coffeen finding himself in another scenario where he does not want the score getting too far away from his kids. Franklin may have momentarily found the break in Newton South's defense, but as Newton South was able to show during the first game, they were able to fight back and gain back a few more points, although ultimately not enough to come close to tying the game up, but they were able to fight back, and they have an opportunity to do here now. With the score only being 13-9, this second game is not out of Newton South's reach. As Newton South comes out of their huddle. So again, 13-9 is our score here. Phoebe O'Connor to continue the serve. Nice serve there again by O'Connor. This time Newton South able to dig it up. Ooh, a nice attempt at a dig there by Phoebe O'Connor, but that one's going to go sideways and out of bounds in the opposite direction. And no one was there to keep that ball going, so that's going to be a point to Newton South as they break double digits. Number 13. And there is no, number 13 is Gianna Permuto. Franklin with a third hit. And a kill there by I believe it was Gianna Lorello. Newton South attempts to dig that ball up, but they cannot keep it alive. So Michaela Kuykendall with the serve. Franklin leading now 14-10. Good serve there, and a massive miscommunication right there by Newton South is going to give that point to Franklin. That's an ace for Michaela Kuykendall. 15-10 is our score here in the second game. And whistle's going to be blown just as Kuykendall is about to hit the ball. Not entirely sure what happened there. There might have been a question of maybe rotation on Newton's south side of the court. But whatever minor issues have been cleared up, so Kuykendall to redo that last play. Kill attempt blocked at the net, and Franklin is not able to dig that ball up, so that's going to be a point to Newton South. 15-11. And number 11, Sophia Hellstrom with the serve now for Newton South. Strong serve there, but Franklin's just going to let that one sail out of bounds. As Charlotte Ulinski comes out of the game for Olivia Alberti, and Emma Cunningham to take the serve now for the Panthers. Good serve there by Cunningham. Newton South with the third hit. That's going to be dug up, and Franklin trying to keep this ball alive, and they do. That ball is going to be blocked at the net, stays on Newton's south side. Their third hit, that's going to be a free ball. Kill attempt, that's going to land just in bounds. So Franklin with a nice kill there. After, I believe it was either Michaela Kuykendall or Olivia Alberti who chased that ball down. That ball went almost to the basketball end line, and Franklin was able to keep that ball alive. So Franklin has a massive amount of tenacity to try to keep a ball alive, as is the case with virtually any volleyball team. That's going to be a free ball there by the Panthers for Newton South. Free ball there by Newton South. Franklin able to handle it. Kill attempt. That's going to land on near the back line. A kill there by Michaela Kuykendall. (18-11) is our score here in this second game, and a timeout is going to be called by Newton South. Franklin again starting to run away with the scoring here in the second game. And again, Lucas Coffeen trying to make sure that his players are somewhat settled down, but Franklin slowly walking away with the scoring again in the second game. And Franklin leading this match, I should say, 1-0. At this point in the playoffs, if the winning team winds up taking a 2-0 lead, it is very, very difficult to fight back from that as we come out of the timeout. And Emma Cunningham to continue the serve here for the Panthers. Cunningham with the serve, but that's going to go into the net, so that's going to give Newton South the side out that they desperately wanted. So number 12, Jessica Power with the serve now for Newton South. Simple serve there by Powers. Kill attempt, dug up by Powers, and that dig, that had a lot of power behind it as it goes high and out of bounds, so that's going to be a point to the Panthers. 19-12 is our score here. Gianna Lorello with the serve. Nice serve there by Lorello, and Newton South is unable to track that second hit down. Unable to keep that second ball alive, so Franklin now with a 20-12 lead. Gianna Lorello to continue the serve. And a dig. Ooh, Newton South is just able to keep this ball alive. Good effort on their part. Oh, and a mistimed play there unfortunately by Olivia Alberti. Phoebe O'Connor set it up perfectly, but slightly mistimed on Alberti's part. That's going to give Newton South that point. As number 9, Alexa Sam takes the serve now for Newton South. They are eager to cut into this lead a little bit. Free ball, that's going to be, a nice play there by Olivia Alberti, I believe, was the one who delivered that free ball, and Newton South unable to get underneath it. number 14. Emerson Delio with the serve now for the Panthers as they have a 21-13 lead. Kill attempt blocked at the net. Newton South unable to react to that quick enough. Franklin now with a 22-13 lead here. Franklin once again only needing 3 more points to take this second game. Good serve there. Newton South able to dig it up. Free ball. Franklin reacts. And that's a free ball by the Panthers. Ooh. That third hit is going to be a free ball, and it's going to go sideways out of bounds. So Franklin now with a 10-point lead, 23-13 in the second game. Delio with the serve. Newton South able to get that ball across. That's a nice kill, but dug up by Newton South. They get the ball not quite across. Franklin is right there to keep that ball on Newton South side of the court. So Franklin now playing for game point in the second game, 24-13. Delio with the possible final serve for the Panthers here. And a nice serve there by Delio. That dig is going to go sideways and out of bounds. Franklin is going to take the second game by a score of 25-13. And with that second game win, they are going to lead the match by a score of 2-0. So Newton South, hands down, doing everything that they can to combat Franklin's offense, but Franklin once again firing on all cylinders here. And Franklin now takes a 2-0 lead, which means that in order for Newton South to take this match, they have to win the next 3 games in a row, just like Andover did in the previous game. Now, I'm not going to predict how this third game is going to turn out, but Newton South has been doing what they can to fight against Franklin's offense, but it has been difficult for them. So Franklin only 1 game away from making it to the state championship. And again, Newton South has to win the next 3 games of this match in order to find themselves in the state finals. So this is going to be a nail-biter of a third game. Franklin has come to play here. So we thank you, viewers and listeners at home, for tuning into this volleyball match on Franklin Pride TV. As was stated at the top of the match, at the start of this broadcast, we are thrilled to be bringing this game to you in some form. But this has been, I mean, no one's really expecting anything different between these two teams, but this has been a fierce matchup. So Franklin breaks their huddle as they make their way out onto the court for the start of the third and again, possibly final game here of this round of 4 matchup against the Newton South Lions. Newton South is going to need to pull all the stops if they're going to win this third game and possibly force a fourth game. They would love to force a 4th and 5th game, but we'll see if Franklin will allow that to happen as Newton South breaks their huddle. The Newton South student section being loud and bouncy as they should be for their team. Franklin student section being a little more reserved, but no less loud, as both teams make their way out onto the court. So Charlotte Ulinski, I believe, is substituted out. Although that's the way it's been all season long. She's gone onto the court and then she's substituted out to start off. But either way, cut it. She'll have some gameplay later on in this game, as number 14, Emerson Delio, is going to start the serve here for the Panthers for the start of this third game. And we are trying to get a few things. One Newton South player has a bit of a bloody nose going on. And that player is number 2, Natalie Huang. Very unfortunate for her. So a little stoppage in gameplay here as the Newton South athletic trainer tries to get that squared away. See a couple of drops of blood outside the near corner of Newton's south side of the court. So and Huang seems to be a very critical player for Newton South squad here. So they are doing what they can to make sure that she's going to be okay. And you may be able to hear the Newton South student section cheering on Natalie as she tries dealing with her treatment here. Both teams having their own little huddles as Natalie continues to check herself. She doesn't seem like her nose is bleeding anymore, and whatever blood that fell to the ground has been wiped up. So she is being tended to as is necessary. And so the main floor ref standing near where her nosebleed began. And more than likely he's going to want to get that section of floor wiped up a little bit more so that way no one slips and falls on that section of floor. Yeah, he's standing mere inches away from where Huang's bloody nose started up. So, yeah. So we've got a Westwood High official coming over here to clean up that section of floor as they get that taken care of. Always better to be safe than sorry, especially in a highly tense situation here. So Huang continuing to get herself checked out here. But it looks like her nosebleed looks like they've been able to keep her nosebleed contained. Yep, thankfully nothing more happening right now, so she's been taken care of. And so the Westwood official is checking that section of floor near the corner. seems to be dried up at this point. So after a few minutes of necessary gameplay, or a few stops of stoppage time, gameplay is now underway. Franklin with the serve. That ball is not coming back. Bounces off against the net, and Newton South cannot stay under it. So Emerson Delio to continue the serve here for the Panthers as Franklin takes a 1-0 lead in this third game. Nice serve there again by Delio. Newton South with a kill attempt. Franklin with their own. Newton South digs it up, but that's going to go sideways, too far out of their reach. That's going to be a point to the Panthers. Delio to continue the serve for Franklin. Newton's third hit, that's going to be a kill. And Newton South delivers. They finally put themselves on the scoreboard and make it a 2-1 lead for Franklin. And Huang with the serve. Nice serve there by Huang. Franklin able to recover. And I think a cross-court kill attempt is unfortunately not going to be high enough to get across the top of the net. So that's going to be a point to Newton South. We are tied up at 2. Huang with another great serve there. Franklin unable to dig that ball up. So Newton South takes a 1-point lead. Huang with another nice serve. Franklin able to dig this one up. Kill attempt is going to go into the net. That's going to make it 4-2 in favor of the Newton South Lions. Huang with another good serve. Franklin third hit. That's going to go long. And a timeout is going to be called by Chris Rodolfi, as Franklin faces only a 3-point lead. But again, as has been the case with Newton South head coach Lucas Coffin, Chris Rodolfi does not want this game getting too far out of reach for his Panthers here. So Franklin breaks the huddle. Newton South not far behind them. As we get back out here to continue on gameplay, Newton South with a 5-2 lead in this third game. And Huang to continue the serve. Good serve there by Huang. Franklin able to respond. Second hit. Third hit is going to be a light free ball. Kill attempt blocked at the net. Newton South able to dig it up. And that's going to be a free ball by Newton South. Franklin, third hit. Big kill. Newton South blocks it at the net, but they can't get a second hit on it. That's going to be a point to the Panthers. Olivia Alberti will take the serve now. So 5-3 is now our score. Newton South with a 2-point lead. Alberti. Run and jump serve. Nice serve. Newton South with a nice play right there. Franklin able to respond to it very quickly and getting that ball across the net. And Franklin able to keep that dig alive. And that point is going to be awarded to Newton South. Didn't see where the ball ultimately hit, but I think, not entirely sure if it hit the roof or whatever, but that point is going to be awarded to Newton South. Alexis Sam with the serve. Nice serve there by Sam as Franklin gets underneath it. And that ball is going to be last touched by Huang. It could be argued in hindsight that that ball might have gone out of bounds, but Huang didn't feel much of a choice but to chase after that ball. That's going to be a point to the Panthers. 6-4 is our score in this third game. Phoebe O'Connor with the serve. And that ball just barely doesn't go into the net, but Franklin is able to, Newton South able to get it across. Franklin delivers a kill, blocked at the net, and it's going to stay on Newton South side of the court. Franklin cuts the lead to 1. 6-5 is now our score. O'Connor to continue the serve. Another strong serve there by O'Connor. That dig by Newton South goes back across the net. Newton South digs that ball up. The second hit is going to go across. Franklin with a kill attempt. That's going to be deflected out of bounds. Blocked at the net by Newton South, but a little too strong to stay in front of Newton South's players, so that's going to be deflected back behind them and out of bounds as Franklin ties the game up at 6 here. O'Connor with another nice serve, dug up by Newton South. That's a free ball by Newton South. Franklin's second hit, and now a third. That was by Charlotte Ulinski, I believe. That third hit by Ulinski is unfortunately going to go into the net. So that gives Newton South back a 1-point lead. And Bellasima Premuto with the serve now for Newton South. Good serve as Franklin tries to keep this ball alive, and they do. That ball was threatening to stay out of bounds. Nice play there by Newton South. Franklin able to keep it alive. Free ball, that's dug up by Newton South. And that's going to be a free ball. That free ball was delivered by number 14, Akina Adams for Newton South. And Franklin is unable to get underneath that ball. So Newton South back up to a 2-point lead. Premuto with the serve. Franklin with a kill, or it might have more than likely been a free ball. That point's going to be awarded to Franklin. Newton South is going to be called for a double hit. So Michaela Kuykendall with the serve as Franklin is looking to tie this game up again. Nice serve there by Kuykendall. Franklin able to dig it up. Kill attempt blocked at the net, but Franklin keeps it alive. That kill's blocked at the net. Newton South able to get underneath it. That ball is going to be out of bounds. So Newton South is called for 4 hits. And Franklin is able to tie the game up at 8. Michaela Kuykendall to continue the serve for the Panthers. Strong serve there. Newton South digs it up. Kill attempt blocked at the net, but deflected out of bounds. So that point's going to go to Newton South. And number 3, Lizzie Coe will be taking the serve for Newton South as they now have a 1-point lead. Franklin digs that ball up. That kill by Newton South is unfortunately for them going to go sideways. Very strong kill attempt, but unfortunately for them it's going to go too far wide to stay inbounds. So that's a point for the Panthers, and we are tied up at 9. Emma Cunningham with the serve now. Good serve there by Cunningham. Newton South able to dig it up. That kill is going to be ruled just out of bounds. Newton South faithful not really too thrilled about that call, but the point is going to be ruled for Franklin. Emma Cunningham to continue the serve. That kill will be ruled inbounds. So number 13, Gianna Premuto to take the serve now for Newton South as we are tied up at 10. Strong serve. Franklin just lets that ball sail out of bounds. Gianna Lorello with the serve. Franklin with a 1-point lead, score being 11-10 in this third game. That ball is going to go into the net. That's a point for the Panthers. It was either that happened so quickly. It was either blocked at the net or went into the net. But either way you cut it, it's a point to the Panthers as they take a 12-10 lead. Lorella to continue the serve. Newton South's third hit gets across. Franklin with a third hit of their own, but unfortunately that is not going to get across the top of the net. So number 7, Beatrice Gonzalez will take the serve now for Newton, as they will look to tie the game up here. Score being 12-11. That one's going to land just out of bounds. A lot of very close calls here with those kind of serves. But Franklin regains a 2-point lead as Emerson Delio takes the serve. Nice serve there by Delio as Newton South digs it up. Third hit coming right up. That's going to be blocked at the net by the Panthers. Free ball. Franklin digs it up themselves. Second hit, now a third. Kill attempt, that's going to be blocked at the net. And that ball does climb over the top of the net. And it's not going to get across over to Franklin's side of the court. So Newton South is going to be called for 4 hits. Good effort on both sides of the net there. But Franklin now with a 14-11 lead. Delio to continue the serve. Newton South digs that one up. Free ball by Newton South. Franklin with a kill. Blocked at the net, and it's going to land right in front of the last 2 players of Newton South's defense. 15-11 is our score. Delio to continue the serve here for the Panthers. She scored several service points here, but unfortunately it's going to end there as that serve goes wide and out of bounds. So that's going to be a point to Newton South. And Natalie Huang with the serve for Newton South. Good serve there by Huang. Franklin with a kill. Dug up by Huang. Newton South with a kill. That one's going to land just out of bounds. Yeah, Newton South calling for Franklin having last touched that ball, but it's ruled out of bounds. So Olivia Alberti with the serve now. Newton South digs that ball up. That kill dug up by Franklin. Franklin with a free ball. Newton South with a kill. That one's going to be dug up by the Panthers. That's going to be a free ball, and it's going to land just. Ooh, it's going to be ruled last touch by a Newton South player. This one may be contested. And this one is going to be contested. As the chair ref gets down from her position, she calls over all of the floor refs. The final ruling is going to be ruled in favor of Newton South. So Newton South catches a break there. That could have given Franklin a 17-12 lead, but instead by reversing that call, Newton South makes it a 16-13 lead for the Panthers. So Newton South with the serve. Franklin digs that ball up. Kill attempt. That one's not coming back as not only Huang tries to dig that ball up, and it's going to stay low to the ground. So Franklin makes it 17-13. Phoebe O'Connor with the serve for Franklin. Nice serve there by O'Connor. Newton South digs it up. That ball is met right at the net. Newton South gets it across. Kill attempt, that's going to be blocked at the net, but Franklin able to keep it alive. That kill is going to come back as Franklin gets a second hit and now a third. That one's going to land inbounds. That's a point for the Panthers, unquestioningly. So Franklin now with an 18-13 lead. As timeout is called by Newton South. So this has been nothing short of a fierce third game here, as Newton South doing everything in their power to try to catch up to the Panthers. Both teams playing fire with fire, but slowly but surely Franklin is beginning to extinguish Newton South's fire here. As Franklin now has a 5-point lead, 18-13 in this third game of this best 3 out of 5 matchup. In this round of 4 game, the state semifinals matchup. So Newton South breaks their huddle. Both teams back out onto the court to continue on playing this game, and Phoebe O'Connor ready to continue to serve for the Franklin Panthers. Nice serve there by O'Connor. Newton South digs it up. That's a free ball. Franklin digs it up themselves. That's a free ball. Newton South digs it up. Kill attempt, that's going to be Franklin able to keep this ball alive. That's a free ball by Gianna Lorello. Kill attempt blocked at the net, and Newton South cannot keep that ball alive after having hit it last. It lands on their side of the court. 19-13 is our score. Phoebe O'Connor. That serve is going to go long. And Newton South wisely lets that one go long. So number 1, Bellissima Promoto to take the serve now for Newton South. Nice serve there by Promuto as Franklin does what they can to keep this ball alive. A free ball by Emma Cunningham. That kill is dug up by Franklin. And that's a free ball that Newton South is able to dive underneath. Kill attempt blocked initially by Franklin, but it stays on their side of the court. Now Newton South, they get a kill. So Bellissima Promoto to continue to serve now for the Panthers as Newton South cuts it to 4 points, 19-15. Promuto with a nice hanging serve there. Franklin is ready for that ball as Newton South tries to meet that ball at the net, and they do. Newton South digs that kill up. That ball is not going to get across, so that's going to be a point to the Panthers. 20-5 is our score here. Newton South with a rotation. Michaela Kuykendall with the serve for the Panthers. That ball is going to be met at the net, but it's going to stay on. That was a very close call, but that point is going to be ruled in favor of the Panthers. So Franklin with a 21-15 lead. Another timeout call by Newton South. Newton South would love to try to bridge the gap here in the scoring, but their time for doing so is quickly running out here as Franklin now has a 6-point lead in this third game. Franklin only needing 4 points to take this match. The game and the match, and make their way to the state championship. Newton South has been doing everything they can to make something happen here. So Newton South breaks their huddle as we come out of the Newton South timeout. Michaela Kuykendall to continue on with the serve for the Panthers. Good serve there by Kuykendall. Newton South able to dig it up. Free ball. That kill is going to go long. Kill attempt by Newton South is going to go high and long. That's going to make the score 22-15 in favor of the Panthers. Kuykendall to continue the serve here. Franklin's student section getting a little loud. Ooh, Newton South almost coming close to missing that play. That ball just gets over the top of the net, and Franklin can't dig it up in time. So that will be a point to Newton South. They make the score 22-16. As number 3, Lizzie Coe, will take the serve now for Newton South. Hanging serve that goes wide, but Franklin is there to keep that ball alive. And Newton South is unable to keep that ball alive. They're going to be called for 4 hits. 23-16 is our score. Franklin 2 points away from making their way to another state championship. Emma Cunningham with the serve. Newton South digs it up. And that kill attempt is unfortunately going to get by Newton South. So Franklin now playing for game and match point here. 24-16 in the third game. Emma Cunningham. That kill's going to go just long, and and Franklin takes it. Franklin takes this third game by a score of 25-16. And they take the match by a score of 3-0. And again, an incredibly fierce game by Newton South, trying to do what they can to break through Franklin's defense. But Franklin again walks away with a 3-0 victory. Newton South's run in the playoffs comes to an end, and Franklin's going to find themselves moving on to the state championship. Date and time to be determined. So that's going to do it for our coverage here at Westwood High School. We thank you, listeners at home, for tuning into this game. So for Franklin TV, this is cameraman Chris saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, Franklin sports fans. Have a good one.